Hi guys. So, I am going to finally do the Q&A that I said that I was going to do. So, um, yeah, I feel like a lot of these questions might be like, I don't know, my first Q&A. So, I feel like I'm not really that important and people don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, these people don't really care about like knowing these answers to these questions, but I still am going to do it because I think I'm wrong, probably. I hope I'm wrong. Anyway, I just want to say that ahead of time as a disclaimer because I don't know. I get nervous. I'm really, really nosy person, but anyway. So I have the paper right here that I wrote down a bunch of questions on. So if I'm looking down between them and stuff, that's what I'm looking at. Anyway, so first of all, obviously everybody's seen I've gotten this question a million times. When is my due date? So I think I told everybody this in the beginning. And I do try to say exactly how far along I am. And I know I used to say the date every single time. I kind of haven't really been recently. But my actual official due date is November 3rd. That's when I'll be 40 weeks. So, yeah. Okay, that's my due date. So, the next question was about stomach touching. I have never, I think it's just because I live in an actual city and also with, well, obviously right now with, all of the pandemic stuff going on, people aren't really touching. So, I have never in this pregnancy or in the other pregnancy with the twins had anybody touch my stomach or ask to touch my stomach, ever. Not even family. The only person who's ever touched my stomach who was not a child is my boyfriend. So everybody else, all my friends, when I was pregnant with the twins, all my friends this time, my family members, my mom, my dad, my sister, the only people who touch my stomach are the kids who I nannied, touched my stomach in my last pregnancy when I was a nanny. And obviously my daughters touch my belly all the time, and my boyfriend touches my belly all the time. But other than that, nobody does, and nobody's asked. So yeah, that's that. The next question is, how many kids do I want? I want 5 or 6 kids, but that includes the fact that I have, my boyfriend has a kid. So I definitely know that I want one more, but not during pandemic times, that's for sure. Not that I plan to be pregnant during a pandemic. Obviously, we didn't know it was going to happen back in February. So, yeah, that was unintentional. But I definitely am going to try to not get pregnant until the pandemic's over, at least. Not that I was originally planning to rush into it in the first place, but you know what I'm saying. But I definitely want another one, and then we will see how I feel about that then. I also could see myself being content if something had to have happened during my delivery or something, which obviously I hope doesn't happen. I obviously don't, I'm not like, nobody wants complication, but, I think that fate will be fate, and I don't see why I wouldn't be able to have another kid, but if I couldn't have another kid, I definitely feel like my family is nice. I don't know, obviously, but I want another one. So, yeah, okay. So the next question was if I have any embarrassing symptoms, and I do not. I have been very lucky overall with that. The most embarrassing thing for me is the throwing up thing, but I was pretty honest about that since the beginning. It's kind of something that shouldn't really be embarrassed by because it's very common in pregnancy, but I don't know. I don't like being vulnerable, and the fact that this is going online and anybody can find it, you know, theoretically anybody could find it. I don't know. It just makes me feel weird. So, yeah. But no, nothing crazy, nothing embarrassing. Like, you know, I don't have any butt problems or like varicose veins or anything like that. Just normal stuff, normal pregnancy stuff. The next question is about shaving. So I actually still shave everything that I would be shaving not pregnant. And I haven't had an issue. I mean, obviously, like lifting my leg hurts sometimes depending on her position, and all of that, especially now that I'm later on. But I mean, kind of just, you know, do what I need to do. So I haven't had any problems with that. I know a lot of people do sometimes, but I don't. And I'm also not, I mean, TMI, but I'm also not a hairy person to begin with. So it's not like I have like a lot to shave or like need to shave daily or anything. Like for instance, if I didn't shave my legs at all, I mean, there would be like patches where you can kind of see my hair, but I don't have black hair or anything like that, where it's like really obvious. My hair is pretty light brown and blonde on my body, so it's not, yeah, it's not really an issue to begin with, but I do try to shave my legs and stuff like that, so yeah. The next question was, did I do maternity photos or belly cast or anything like that? And I did not. I really, really, really wanted to. I wanted to be super extra. I wanted to do everything, but maternity pictures are extremely, extremely expensive here, and I don't have a nice camera to do it on. I don't have a nice place to do it at or anything like that. And I don't know, just I feel like maybe if it wasn't for the pandemic, I would feel differently, but definitely with the way things are, I just kind of feel like it wasn't worth it to do maternity photos. I don't want to like go buy a dress or rent something or something like that just to do pictures. I would rather just take belly shots and it'll be fine. I didn't do maternity pictures with my twins. I actually meant to. I was going to. And right when I decided that I was going to, it was the same week that I found I had to be induced. And so I never did. So it's not that big of a deal for me to not, as long as I have a lot of pictures of my belly and all of that, because that's what's more important to me, is the fact that I didn't really do it with the twins, and I wanted to make sure I did it this time so I can have a remembrance of what I looked like. You know what I mean? Yeah. And no belly cast or anything like that. And I don't know if I was really going to do that, but I mean, I went into the pregnancy being like, why not? I mean, just anything that people do, I don't want to not do it because I just want to experience it all. But I don't know. I kind of feel differently now. So the next question was, do I have stretch marks? I don't have stretch marks at all. Well, I shouldn't say at all. I have one section, actually, technically, that has stretch marks on it. But they're clear. They're not white stretch marks, and they're definitely not purple stretch marks. They're like the kind of stretch marks where you can only see it in like the lighting from the side, and it's only on my belly piercing. So on my actual stomach, I don't have any stretch marks. It's just the piercing that I have has been stretched, obviously, twice. And I actually got this when I was pregnant with the twins, and I didn't realize until like either right in the beginning of my pregnancy or right before I got pregnant. It was like the beginning of the year this year. I was looking at my belly ring and I'm like, I think that's a stretch mark. And it obviously wasn't from this pregnancy because I got pregnant in February and my belly obviously wasn't big enough until, you know, May at least to even be showing. So, so I mean, yeah, obviously it was from last pregnancy, but I didn't even realize because it's so unnoticeable. I mean, I show my, you know, my belly in all its glory every single week, except when I'm wearing dresses, obviously, and everybody can see I don't really have stretch marks. I do have stretch marks on my boobs. That was from the twins, and I don't think I'm gonna get any more because they grew so much with the twins. I don't see how they would stretch that much again this time, but you never know. I don't really care about my boobs having stretch marks, to be honest. That never bothered me. Cared more about my stomach, and I was lucky in that department. So yeah, and nowhere else in my body at all, from before pregnancy or anything. I'm just not very predisposed, I guess, to them. So I don't know. The next question was about how much weight I gained. So I weigh 136 or 137 depending on the day. I weighed when I was 4 weeks exactly pregnant. I went to the doctor and was weighed, obviously, because that's what they do with the doctor. And I weighed 114 pounds. So whatever that is. 37 minus 14, so 23 pounds I gained. And I haven't gained any weight in like 5 weeks. So, yeah. Actually, maybe more like 4 weeks. Or 3 weeks. I haven't gained any weight. I think I gained like 2 pounds in the last, since I've been 30 weeks. So, and I'm almost 38 now. But I do have a scale here, so I do weigh myself every once in a while. I know this morning I weighed myself and I was 136.2 or something like that. So, whatever that makes me. 20 whatever pounds. When I delivered the twins, I was 139 pounds, but I wasn't as big as I am now. So I don't know. I mean, different weight distribution. So, yeah, but that's how much weight I gained. I actually planned on talking about my weight when I went to whenever I went to my doctor's appointments, but then I just didn't. I don't know. I wasn't really gaining that much weight, so, and I usually don't. So, the next question is if I've had any rude comments, if my clothes fit me, if my clothes do not fit me. I have, I don't know, a handful of things I can wear at this point that don't ride up if I put my arms up. So that's kind of irritating. Even my dresses don't really fit me. I have a couple dresses that fit me at this point. Most of them are like just really uncomfortable because they're tight, even though they technically are long enough, or they just simply don't fit me at all. Like they're just not long enough with the belly. So, yeah, nothing really fits me anymore. But I do have a couple maternity shirts still that fit me. A couple of larger shirts that fit me. I luckily like baggy clothes and tank tops that are really stretchy, so it's not like I have nothing that fits me. It's just I'm limited, But I don't know if I would say the comments that I get are rude about my stomach. I actually have a very tiny belly, according to a lot of people. I'm not sure if that was what was intended or if that person thought that I have a big belly. I feel like I have a big belly. For me, I'm a tiny person and I'm literally all belly. So to me, I feel like I'm huge and it's weird. I don't know. But I don't know. I wouldn't say they're rude comments because I know that the intention isn't to be rude. But it does kind of bother me when so many people tell me that I'm so tiny because I don't feel like I'm tiny. I feel like I'm walking around with a freaking pumpkin under my shirt all the time. And then to be told like, oh, well, you're tiny and like, it's not even a big deal. It kind of almost makes me feel like it's like, well, I'm really uncomfortable at this point. And for me, it's a lot. So, but then, I also wouldn't want people going around being like, oh my gosh, you're massive. What do you do? Like, that's really rude. So, people should just keep their mouths shut. But it's okay. It's fine. And then I only have 2 more questions. So second to last question is when do I want the next baby? And like I said, I don't want to have another baby until the pandemic is over. We definitely plan to move out of the house that we're in soon and we'll have more rooms. Yeah. So that will be nice and all that. But I mean, if I could have it my way, I would want my next baby and potentially last baby to be born in 2022. So, you know, year and a half. I guess not really a year and a half. 2022 or 2023. So, not quite as big of a gap as I have between the twins and this baby. But, yeah, I mean, definitely not like gonna try to get pregnant ASAP or anything. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. And then the last question that I got was about breastfeeding. Do I plan to breastfeed? I do. I'm really, really into breastfeeding. I have no shame in breastfeeding. I'm the kind of person who will be whipping out my boob in public. It sounds really inappropriate, but you know what I mean. Because I will not wear a cover. I tried to wear a cover once when I was in the NICU, and it was really, really hot and uncomfortable, and I wasn't good at breastfeeding. I actually exclusively pumped for my daughters, the twins, and don't actually really know how to breastfeed. I mean, I've done it, but I did it for like 2 weeks, and that was almost a year and a half ago now, or 2.5 years ago. So I do not remember. I remember the vague ideas of it, but yeah, I'm not going to be doing some covered blind breastfeeding, and I'm sure as heck not going to be hiding in my house or in my car to breastfeed. I will be whipping it out whenever she needs it. I'm hoping she latches and latches well and is a great nurser. There's no reason for her to not be. There was a latch issue with only one of the twins, and the other twin is really good at breastfeeding. I just simply didn't want to do one for one baby and another thing for another baby, and that's why I pumped. I hate to pump, but I definitely plan on breastfeeding. I pumped for my twins for 20 months. It was like days short of 20 months. And my goal for myself is always to make it through all of the shots at the very minimum. So to me, if I can just make it to 2 weeks past their 18-month vaccines, I'm good. And that's my minimum. But I really will be willing to breastfeed her until she's, you know, doesn't want to be honest. I was breastfed for a really long time, and I just feel like it's really natural and normal, so I don't have a problem with it. I know it's really good for them, so I definitely plan to do that. It's always been something that I was planning to do. So, yeah, that's my Q&A, I guess. Tomorrow I will be 38 weeks, assuming I don't go into labor tonight, and so I'll make an update for you all tomorrow, unless I'm in labor, and I will see you guys then. All right, bye.